Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video will be my TV and movie wrap up for July, August, and September. It's been a really long time since I've talked about TV shows and movies that I've watched because I genuinely have not been watching a lot of things lately, which I feel really bad about because I had so many TV shows and movies that I wanted to watch in September and October. Obviously, I still have October to watch a lot of them, but I barely watched anything in September and didn't really watch a lot in the summer either, but honestly, I'm not like a huge watcher in the summer. I don't love to watch a lot of things. I don't know why. I basically watched, I guess, 3 new things, and then I had a bunch of rewatches of other stuff, so it wasn't crazy. So the first thing I watched was Barbie, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. I did watch this in theaters. I think I watched it 2 or 3 days after it had come out, so it was kind of like still at the peak, the hype. I am really glad that I saw it in theaters because I think it is definitely a theater experience movie. I am reading some of my notes that I wrote down. I loved the overall message of the movie. Obviously, I loved all of the feminist vibes and messages and all of that. My only complaint is that, how do I explain this? It felt like we had one very important moment or important like dialogue, and then it would just move on to the next important one, and it felt like you didn't really have time to digest each important piece, if that makes sense. Like each important message, I feel like you weren't given time to digest that before they moved on to another important message. I guess like there wasn't enough time to breathe and like understand each thing before we got the next important thing. Maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but I found the Ken stuff kind of annoying and boring. And his musical numbers, obviously they were all great, but like it just felt annoying, which I guess is maybe the point, to say that men always overtake all of our joy and like make things always about them. And I guess maybe that's the message, that like men will always make it about themselves when it's not, and how they blow everything out of proportion, which is how I felt about the whole Ken situation, especially when he said, when I learned it was more than just about the horses, I didn't really care, but he still made a big deal out of it. I feel like that's often how, I guess, people in general sometimes will care. Well, they'll start to care about something and they're so stubborn that they continue to care about it or pretend to care about it even when they actually don't. They'll ride for an opinion even when they actually don't care about it anymore, just because they're stubborn or just because they're trying to make a point when it really doesn't matter. That's how I felt about Ken. And also, like, it's weird how he never really like apologized for anything, but I feel like that's also a message in itself. I loved all the girl power vibes and all the girlies just being friends and just, you know, living up in Barbie land. That was so fun. I also loved the mother-daughter vibes and the whole message about that. It was very beautiful. I did tear up about that. I probably would have cried more if I was alone when I saw the movie, but I wasn't. Obviously, all of the directing, the cinematography, the writing, like the screenplay, the acting, like everything was fantastic. The costumes, the set design, like all of that was very, very well done. I did love all of that. I think my main issue with this movie is I think people were obviously hyping it up, of course, but I kind of expected it to be life-changing. Like I thought I would go into this movie and that it would change my whole life, and it didn't. And so I guess I just had really high expectations and I was definitely let down a little bit. Overall, I really liked the movie. I definitely would see it again. Then I watched season 5 of What We Do in the Shadows. The new season was on FX, so I watched the new season. I actually did watch every episode live every Thursday night, and there were, I think, 10 episodes, and then I did actually buy the 5th season on Apple, and I rewatched season 5. So I have seen it more than once now, and I really, really loved season 5. I overall would give it a 5 out of 5 stars. It was very fun, very entertaining. When I first watched this season, I did feel like some things were not off, but like sometimes things didn't really connect, or like it just didn't feel cohesive. But once you rewatch the entire season back to back, you notice a lot of foreshadowing. And that kind of blew my mind when I rewatched it. I was like, oh my God. Like, this happened in the first episode, and then this happened in like later episodes, and there were a lot of things that did connect throughout the season. What I really loved about this new season was that there was so much original storylines. Like, there was so many things that you never really thought of when it comes to like vampires, but because, you know, the show is very camp, that they can really just do anything. But like, one of my favorite episodes is when Nadja brings Guillermo to the doctor, and it's a familiar doctor. That episode, fantastic. Loved that. That was so interesting. The whole experiments thing that was going on throughout the season was fantastic as well. And I did really love Colin's storyline and his kind of return. We also got some great guest stars throughout the season, which I really loved. I loved this new season. It was fun, interesting, unique. I will say there are some kind of like plot holes that I don't particularly love. I think that's just like part of the campness of this show, is that it's not meant to be so serious and to like actually have full-on plot lines and make it complex and everything. But there are some plot holes with the whole like turning vampires situation and like how that actually works. I feel like we don't really know exactly how that works in this world. I feel like that's still not really clear. Loved this season. Cannot wait for the next one, because we are at least getting another season. So I'm very excited about that. Sorry if you can hear construction noise. They are still working on my street. Then I started rewatching some of the Harry Potter movies. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but 2 of my friends have never really seen the Harry Potter movies. My other friend has seen them. She's also read the books. So we have just been watching or rewatching the movies and sharing them with our friends. And obviously I've been reading the books for the first time. So it's been fun to kind of read the book and then rewatch the movie, see what they changed. Obviously I do know the movies very well, but it is fun to read the book and then immediately rewatch the movie. I think it's so fun to watch a franchise with people who have never seen them before or read the books. So I rewatched Philosopher's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, and Goblet of Fire. We are supposed to watch Order of the Phoenix any day now. I do really love these movies, and I'm really happy that my friends are also really enjoying them. Aside from What We Do in the Shadows and I guess Harry Potter, the only other seasonal thing that I watched was Hotel Transylvania. This I had never seen before. It is an animated movie. It is definitely a children's movie, but I thought it would be a very like cute, cozy watch. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. Like I said, it's definitely a kid's movie, but it was a really entertaining watch. It was fun and cute. I actually really liked the characters and the story. I didn't realize it was all about like a bunch of monsters. That was really fun, and the whole concept I think is actually really interesting. It was definitely predictable, but I still really enjoyed it. I don't know if I'm gonna watch the other ones. I think there's like 3 or 4 out. Maybe if I'm bored one day and I feel like watching the next ones, but other than that, it was just a fun, quick movie. And then the last thing that I watched was a rewatch of My Fault, or Culpa Mia. This I actually haven't watched since June, to be honest, but I rewatched this at the end of September with one of my friends who has never seen it. It was fun to rewatch it. I forget like how long the race car scenes are. Like, some of them are quite long, but overall I still really love this movie. I just think it's fun, entertaining. I have talked about this movie in length in I think my last TV movie wrap up, so I'll link that down below. But yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite movies of the year. It was just really fun, so I loved rewatching it. So that was everything that I watched since July, I guess. Really not that much, but I'm hoping to watch a lot more in October. Let me know what you've been watching recently, or if you have any recommendations for me, please leave them down below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, follow me on all my other social media, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!